What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, I wanted to discuss why training Grotto needs a revamp. So if you guys don't know already, Netmarble, they made their dev note and discussed about how they're going to be, changing the amount of training Grotto keys they give, and because of the, where we get it through like this or whatever. Like, I know it was like what? It was like this, right? You get a training Grotto key in your notice. So they're giving this out instead of the other item, which was the hourglass, right? And so what they're gonna do is they're gonna give both during the event, the next event during October. So I wanted to discuss why I think training Grotto needs a revamp, and why people are upset with getting just a training dungeon key over a hourglass. So when we go into training dungeon, bro, I'll show you guys like the actual rewards that you get, because it's not like the craziest thing ever, you know what I mean? It really isn't. Like, if I go into training cave, the most I'm getting out of it is gonna be a few hammers, some anvils, and maybe if I'm lucky, you get engraving stones, right? Like, if you get enough, as you guys can see here, from the training reward right here, you get 2 from here, you get 3 from the clearing the 6th one, and then you get 5 from clearing 9. And you know how long training Grotto takes, regardless of if you doing level 3 every single time. This takes a while, man. And the thing is too, is that it doesn't save your team that you use on the 3rd fight. So if I go into this fight right here, right, I guess it just doesn't save my teams on my blue side. That's just unfortunate. But you guys can see, like, the rewards are not anything too crazy either, right? Like, hammer, you get anvils, like 30% chance at a hammer on the gold box, which is a 36% chance. Not like, it's good, but it's not the, you're not getting the most out of it, I think, and then fighting these guys, like, they're super weak at this point. Like, I don't think it's like, 90k CC nowadays, especially in ungeared, is not anything to fare with. Like, I could probably beat this with just like solo assault melee or something, like, realistically. Let me just put Zeldris Link. I could definitely beat this with like solo assault melee, even like if I just put like another green unit, bro. Like, what's another green unit that's a demon? Let's see. Green Derriere, sure. Like, just as an example, bro, I could slap this team together. Even if I don't get the 90k CC barrier, like, I'll still be able to beat this, bro. This type of like content isn't very hard nowadays, and it's very, very tedious, bro. Because you're gonna have to go through every single fight, and considering the fights, you have to do 9 of them. Actually no, it's not 9, it's actually 12, isn't it? Because you do the first 3 fights, and then you do your gold dungeon key fight. So yeah, it's 12 fights. You know how long that takes? It's a while, man. Already, I've not, like, I'm only on the first stage, right? I'm only on the first stage. That just goes to show, like, it really is, it just takes a long time. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know, training dungeon definitely needs a revamp. I think if they remove or like lower the amount of times you do training dungeon, like if they just made it like 3 times if you do level 3, in comparison to like what, 12, that'd be really good. But yeah, as you can see, like, it's not like, this is not hard for me, right? Like, this is just not hard. I could be, there we go, we do the AoE right there. Let me take the gauge. Like this is just not hard. Realistically, I'm bringing solo assault melee. Basically, Green Derriere is there to give me support with the all gauge reduction, but like, this is not hard, right? This is not hard. So we get the clear, and then we do the assault mode single target, and it's GG, bro. And then as you guys can see, like, the rewards here are not the craziest. 1 hammer, bro, when you need 5 to, like, boost a thing. And that's 1 out of the 9 runs you do. You do get an extra run on the 3rd one because you're doing your gold stage. But that is just, like, bro, like, 1 hammer, bro. 1 hammer. Am I getting am I getting, like, a good increase out of that 1 hammer, right? Like, that's what really counts when training dungeon is a thing. They haven't revamped training dungeon since it released, and the amount of hammers that they give out through training dungeon now, in comparison to what they used to, because they used to give the exact same amount, but at that time, no one really was getting like thousands of hammers, right? Like, you would only have like 10, 20 at the most, like at like initial Grand Cross with the training dungeon. And now when you do like training dungeon, you go through each stage, like you get the clear, like man, it is really just I don't know. Training dungeon, especially when like you don't have your team set, like if you move devices too, because if you guys don't know, if you play on BlueStacks and you play on your phone, this can happen where it like cucks your whole team, and usually it saves your regular team, but it will cuck your team, like depending on if you move your account over and stuff, right? So that's gonna be like another thing to think about. But I don't know, I think the rewards need to be revamped. The amount of time you spend in training dungeon needs to be lowered, because the amount of time you spend in there is a long time, regardless of if you're autoing or not, right? Like even if you do level 3, you have to do 12 total runs of one training dungeon key for you to get what, at the most 15 hammers, and then like let's say like 10 engraving stones at the most, because you get like a what, like 3 every like level 3 fight, like every like 4th fight, I should say. So I don't know, man. I just think training dungeon needs a revamp. The kind of stuff you do in training dungeon isn't even really fun anymore. I think it was a lot more fun when you had to struggle to beat it, because your box wasn't built. Because back in the day, when you did this, you did not have super awakening, you did not have what, level 90, you had level 80 at the most, I think. When training dungeon was out, you had level 80 and you had no super awakening, and getting 90k CC at that time, especially with like SR units on your team, like building a team around every training dungeon fight was it was a end game activity, right? And nowadays training dungeon is not even close to that. If you just have good units in your box, like if you just have built units, training dungeon is a wash for you. The only thing is, it takes so much time that people do not want to do it, right? And that's just the thing right there. It takes a long amount of time. The rewards are not abundant anymore. You don't get as much as like you should be, especially if you're doing 12 fights, right? 12 fights, and you're only getting like 15 hammers at the most, which I don't think is like anything too crazy, right? Maybe 15-20 hammers, right? But I don't know. And then the thing is too, the value of a hourglass in comparison to a training dungeon key is actually insane. Because when you do a hourglass run on the Fort Solgris, you get so much more than you would if you did the the training dungeon. Because the hourglass, you have a lot of options as well. Like you can do, if you go to the hourglass, you can do anvil farming, you can do SA coin farming. Those are really two really good important things in Grand Cross. Like if they added one for hammers, literally training dungeon would be completely irrelevant. Like they would have to buff the rewards from training dungeon for that to be anywhere close to anything that you get from the hourglass right here, right? That's the thing that kind of sucks, right? Because when Netmarble swapped the hourglass for a training dungeon key, people were upset because no one does training dungeon, bro. Like it's just because the event is just so boring. It takes too long and you get no rewards. In comparison to the Broken Clock Tower, the Clock Tower of Eternity, you get so much more in terms of rewards. You're getting what, like guaranteed on this thing, you get like what, 400 anvils. I've had 2,800, right? And then I'm at 51 Super Awakening coins. Like you have a lot of stuff you get from your hourglass in comparison to your your training dungeon key, bro, which is just it goes to show like how much of a difference those two items are, and why people were mad when they got the swap. So I think Netmarble needs to upgrade training dungeon, because they said they were gonna add a 4th level in one of their dev notes, which I don't know if that's gonna really make or break training dungeon. That might just make it even worse, even boring. It depends on how they go about it, but I think if they go about training dungeon, they shorten the amount of time you spend in training dungeon. Let's say at the most, let's say 5 runs at the most or something, bro. Like or even like cut it in half from 12 to 6. That would be a lot better than you doing what, like 12 runs, bro. It's crazy because you have to fight your own team on the 4th fight, the 8th fight, and the 12th fight, right? So yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about how training dungeon should be handled, man. I just think the rewards are not the greatest anymore. The amount of time it takes for you to get those rewards, it is just too long, and it's just boring, bro. It's just boring. So you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.